Today's episode of Variant is brought to you by Netflix.
Today on Variant, I review the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer. Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than I miss the real Ghostbusters cartoon. I'm your host, Arris Quinones. Before we get into today's episode, a little housekeeping from last week's Static Shock episode. I didn't mention a few other people that contributed to Static Shock's creation, as well as Milestone Comics in general. And they would be Derek Dingle, Dennis Cohen, Christopher Priest, and Michael Davis. Dennis did the character designs, while Davis wrote the backstory for the character. The reason I only mentioned Dwayne McDuffie, Robert Washington III, and John Paul Leon is because they are the ones that define the character, making Static who he is today, as well as writing the first several issues. But that is your correction for that. Every now and again we may miss something. We aren't perfect. Just know when we do, we'll be sure to update it for you guys. But now let's talk about today's show. The Guardians of the Galaxy trailer just hit the interwebs last Tuesday, and since it's one of the movies I'm most looking forward to this summer, I figured I'd give you guys my thoughts on it. Plus, I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to the movie as well. Also, I will be doing a History of the Guardians of the Galaxy episode for all you asking or wondering, but that's not going to be until a little closer to the movie's actual release date. But enough chatting, let's talk about the trailer. Guardians of the Galaxy is set to release August 1st, and as I said, out of all the superhero movies coming out this year, this is the one I'm most excited for. I know I've been saying it to my friends and family that it's going to be one of the best movies of the summer, and if the trailer is any indication of the rest of the movie, good lord. First of all, the movie visually looks amazing. From the cinematography to the VFX, even the character design for all the Guardians looks awesome. David Bautista as Drax looks like one scary mother freaker, and if he has the acting chops to go along with that, yes, please. Rocket Raccoon looks great, and he's being voiced by Bradley Cooper, which I think Bradley Cooper can pull it off since he can play that sarcastic, arrogant role really well. Plus, it's just going to be awesome seeing him come to life. I mean, it's a gun-toting BA Raccoon. Who doesn't want to see that? Then you have Groot being voiced by Vin Diesel, which I also think is a great pick. He did an awesome job in one of my favorite childhood movies, voicing the Iron Giant in the Iron Giant animated movie. The character of Groot is just a cool character in general, and I think the team-up and/or duo relationship of Groot and Rocket Raccoon in the movie is going to be amazingly BA and hilarious all at the same time. Zoe Saldana looks great as Gamora and surprisingly intimidating, especially when she's standing there for her mugshot. I just wasn't expecting her to look as cool as she does, but she does look really cool, and I'm very excited about it. And lastly, Star-Lord, who's being played by Chris Pratt. He looks awesome, and more importantly is freaking funny, which for those of you who read the Guardians of the Galaxy comics, you know Star-Lord is supposed to have a comedic aspect to him and a lack of social skills. So going by the trailer, I think Chris Pratt is going to do a phenomenal job as Star-Lord and be one of the best parts of the movie. Speaking about comedic aspect, I've been seeing some people complaining about how the trailer/movie looks too funny, when first off, Guardians of the Galaxy comics are lighthearted and have a sense of humor to them as well. And second, the movie is about a talking tree, a talking gun-carrying raccoon, and all sorts of other aliens and unrealistic things, so its sense of humor makes it more acceptable. Plus, who doesn't like to laugh? The movie also looks a lot like the comic books, really capturing the environments and the sci-fi aspects from the comics, well, at least from what I can see from the trailer. Then there was also several Easter eggs in the trailer that mostly only die-hard comic book fans would notice. One of the easier ones to spot was John C. Reilly wearing a Nova Corps uniform, which is essentially Marvel's version of the Green Lantern Corps. The Nova Corps costumes were actually shown at last year's San Diego Comic-Con, meaning it's only a matter of time before we're introduced to Richard Rider, aka Nova, so maybe we might end up seeing him in this movie. If not, it's safe to assume we'll see him in future movies. Another Easter egg was them listing Lila as an associate in the mugshot description for Rocket Raccoon. For those of you who don't know, Lila is Rocket's love interest, and she's also a talking otter. Then you have the Infinity Stone, which is the thing that Star-Lord is trying to steal in the very beginning of the trailer, but he immediately hands it over to Korath the Pursuer. We've already seen two Infinity Gems in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Tesseract in Captain America the First Avenger and the Avengers film, and the Ether in Thor the Dark World. Fans have been debating which stones are which, as each gem holds a different kind of power. The 6 stones would be soul, power, time, space, mind, and reality. I also really hope we get to see Thanos in this movie. We've only seen him once in the Marvel Cinematic Universe thus far, which was at the very end of the Avengers movie. And I don't know about you, but I really want to see Thanos wreck shop on the big screen. We are, however, getting Ronan the Accuser in this movie, who I'm super excited for, and the Collector, who we see at the end of Thor the Dark World. Bringing my thoughts to a close though, I'm super excited for this movie. If the whole movie is like the trailer, I think we're going to have one of the best Marvel movies to date. I mean, the movie basically just feels like how Marvel would do a Star Wars or Star Trek type universe. And to that I say, take my money. though Venom was originally supposed to be a woman, writer David Michelinie originally wanted the character to be a woman. She was pregnant and about to give birth. Her husband is rushing to get to the hospital. He runs into the road to flag down a cab, but the cabbie is looking up at Spider-Man, who is fighting someone. The cabbie doesn't see her husband and accidentally hits and kills him. The woman sees her husband get hit and die in front of her just as she goes into labor. She loses her child and her mind at the same time and is institutionalized. She blames Spider-Man for the death of her husband and her child. The alien costume, which was also hurt by Peter Parker, is drawn to the woman because of her intense hatred of Spider-Man. The costume then bonds with her and tries to kill Peter. But when the writer switched from the Web of Spider-Man to the Amazing Spider-Man, Jim Salicrup told him he wanted to do something special in issue 300 of Amazing and suggested Michelinie introduce a new character. So he told him about the symbiote. Though Salicrup liked the idea, he wasn't sure readers would buy a woman being a physical threat to Spider-Man, even a woman enhanced by an alien costume. So Michelinie came up with the Eddie Brock angle, and the rest is history. Netflix streams TV shows and movies directly to your home, saving you time, money, and hassle. As a Netflix member, you can instantly watch TV episodes and movies streaming directly to your PC, Mac, or right to your TV with your Xbox 360, PS3, or Nintendo Wii console, plus Apple devices, Kindle, and Nook. You can get a free 30-day trial membership by going to netflix.com/variants and signing up now. First up for Wednesday, February 26th, we have Fantastic Four issue 1. The first superhero family in comics starts back at issue 1. If you've been looking to get into the Fantastic Four, this is the perfect time. Now we have Superior Spider-Man issue 28. Goblins, spiderlings, supervillains, giant robots. It can only mean one thing: assault on Spider Island. Here we have Talon issue 16. Calvin Rose must find a Lazarus pit to bring himself back from the dead. But first, he must fight another undead villain with the same notions, Lord Deathman. Next, we have Batman the Dark Knight issue 28. This is artist Ethan Van Sciver's return to the title, part 1 of a 2-part story dealing with the complex history of Dr. Kurt Langstrom, aka Man-Bat. How does Man-Bat's past connect to Batman's future? And finally, we have Batman Superman issue 8. The world's finest teams of two worlds meet at last in chapter 1 of First Contact. With Power Girl's abilities on the fritz, see what happens when her long-lost cousin Superman approaches her. Well, that brings another episode of Variant to a close, but before I go, I want to remind all of you the contest we're doing to win a signed copy of Supergirl issue 54. It's signed by cover artist of the issue, Shane Davis, who's the artist for the awesome Superman Earth 1 graphic novels, and signed by interior artist of the issue, Jamal Ingle. To find out how to win this awesome comic, go to this link right here, or look in our description down below. But that's it, and I'll see you guys next week when I talk about all things comics. First of all, the movie visually looks amazing, from the cinematography